they keep bringing up is who is really a Democrat.
Right.
At this point, when you have somebody who's garnering 42% of the vote in the primary, I don't think the argument should be who is really a Democrat, because obviously 40 or so percent of the actual vote is going that way. So at this point, that's really moot.
But even better than that, it's like at this point there's an article in Salon that said this is a difference. This election is really about the New Deal versus neoliberal, right? It's the fight for the heart and soul of the Democratic Party. At this point, in this election in New York, this would have been the perfect place, and that was the perfect opportunity for Bernie Sanders to hammer the fact that he is more of a historical Democrat than Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton combined, because what they represent is absolutely, I don't want to say completely antithetical, but it's almost antithetical to what Democrats have historically been, particularly on economic issues. Now, we don't want to talk about their race issues back in the New Deal era of time, but in terms of economic issues, Hillary Clinton is a blue dog conservative Democrat. In terms of war, Hillary Clinton is a blue dog conservative. In terms of economics, she's blue dog conservative, fiscal conservative, neoliberal politician, and he is more Democratic historically than Hillary Clinton would ever be, but he didn't seize that opportunity. I don't know. Go ahead, Noah.
Well, I agree with that. And the other thing I was going to say before we start talking about who's a Democrat, but it goes back in, the same thing with the Bill Clinton conversation, right? Well, you said Bill Clinton needs to apologize, but he didn't go that next step to explaining, like, what's the big deal? Why does Bill Clinton need to apologize? Because, like you're saying, Bernie Sanders is historically more of a Democrat than either one of them. When you look at the rise of the Clinton, dynasty, basically, so to speak, it has been, following off of what Nick was saying, getting things done by out-Republicaning the Republicans before the Republicans can do something, supposedly trying to save us, under the guise of, well, we had to do this because the Republicans were going to do something worse, when that's not true. Bill Clinton rode his white horse in on this whole, I'm tough on crime. I mean, Bill Clinton, infamously flew back to Arkansas when he was running for president from the campaign trail to oversee the execution of a mentally incapacitated black man, right? To prove how much he was so tough on crime, while he's in the midst of an election cycle. And what was interesting when I was going back and reading accounts that describe, this whole incident, Rahm Emanuel, Clinton friend, because what people don't really realize is how far back Rahm and the Clintons really go. I mean, they go all the way back to 92 running for president, right? I mean, they've been in cahoots for a very long time. Rahm had a hand in that. As a strategist, as a member on the campaign team, he had a hand in that. And so we have these new Democrats, right? We have these neoliberals who are not beholden to the values of an FDR or a Johnson, so to speak, right? Like they have this whole new way of doing things. We have the creation of the DLC, right? Like that picture and that really great article that Michelle Alexander shared around, where you had the picture of Bill Clinton at Stone Mountain, right after while Reagan's president. You have Bill Clinton in Stone Mountain. You have black prisoners standing behind him. Like, if anyone wasn't clear of what was going on in that was a work camp that he was taking a picture at, and those were black prisoners. I mean, they have built their career on, objectifying people of color for their own personal gain and opportunity. And somehow now we have Hillary and to some extent Bill using the language, as you've said before, Ben, of intersectionality to kind of let us know that they've learned their lesson and we can trust them to be the standard bearer of this new wave going forward of destroying institutional racism. And it's crap.
And that's the part that frustrates the hell out of me, right? So if anybody has been, let's just do an arbitrary anecdotal scale of intersectionality in terms of Hillary and Bernie Sanders. If anybody gets even a B- on intersectionality throughout their whole career, I'd say Bernie Sanders probably gets a B or a B-. He's definitely not flawless in race issues, but Hillary Clinton, based on her entire career up until this election, was probably a D-, damn near an F. in terms of their positions and their look, the way they perceived African Americans, minorities across the board, the language that they use, the offensive language that they use, and even some of the offensive language that they use now. Hillary Clinton is failing on his on intersectionality, but all of a sudden, who was I talking to? I know it was Rania last night. All of a sudden, she has this perfect score on the language of intersectionality, and that's only because there's a team of black women on her staff who are writing some brilliant pieces and brilliant tweets that are perfectly phrased intersectional phrases, yet time and time and again, when you catch her off script, she fails all over again. And that is the biggest example of bamboozling that I've seen in a long time. Somebody who has the worst history on race in a campaign being championed as the race hero, and the person with the better record, not the best record, but clearly a better record than Hillary Clinton, is disdained as some type of miscreant on race issues. Let's take this caller real quick. Caller, you're live on the air. What's your name, comment?